Oh, I am pretty pooped. Hey, good morning. Welcome back to the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel. My name is Jerry. This is episode number 23 of our Mountain Valley Farm series, and it is a brand new game day, just after 7 o'clock in the morning here. And what a beautiful day it's looking like it's going to be. As indicated in our previous episode, we'll just sort of recap that. I managed to get all of our straw in. I'll just take a jog over here. Speed this process up just a little bit. Managed to get all the straw off the field. Obviously, we baled it in the previous episode. Managed to get it over here. So that is a portion of the straw that we have. And let me just swing through here and grab these eggs while we are in the neighborhood. One more over here. One over there behind the power washer. And then I think that if I remember correctly, yeah, I put about 6 bells or 3 bells in here, so that was what we had left over. So pretty good yield of straw off the field. Certainly enough that I'm certainly pleased with that. And so today, sort of as indicated in the previous episode, we are going to get started with our canola harvest because those are the two last fields that we have, or actually it looks like that may be 6 bells back there. But anyway, regardless of how many bells we got off of it, I believe that we got plenty of straw for everything that we want to accomplish on our farm with our animals, with our cows and such. So we're going to go ahead and bring our combine over here. I think I may have put the header on the header trailer just to sort of keep it in a location where I could easily find it. But it's been a couple of, well, it's been over a week, I think, since I've actually played Mountain Valley Farm. I had put a few episodes. No, the header is not there. The header is not on the combine. I tell you what, I'm gonna put a pause here and I'll go find the header, find out where we left it, and I'll be right back. Alright, well, looky right there. The header was pretty close to the main barn all the time. I just didn't see it. I'm sure you guys perhaps could see that, maybe as we drove by. You were probably screaming at me, pounding on your desks or whatever, saying, Jerry, the header is right there to your left as you drove past it, kind of there in our makeshift equipment yard there. But oh well, no worries. Through the magic of editing, we fixed that little oversight on my part. So anyway, hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful day, and hope you are getting ready for another weekend. And by the time you're watching this episode, the month of August is just almost gone. It is just almost gone. It is so amazing at just how fast the summer has gone by, right? I mean, it just really feels like we were coming together, and I'm really not sure. I can't remember when I started the Mountain Valley Farm series. I'm thinking it was sometime in the early summer. I can't remember. Well, I'm pretty sure it was before I went on vacation, but I could be wrong. It might have been after that. Time with my work life being as busy as it is, with my personal life, with my YouTube channel, with managing now multiple game content on the channel itself, the days do kind of just run together, and episodes kind of run together, and series kind of run together, and it's kind of hard for me to sort of break apart and say, okay, well, I remember I started this series here, and etc. But I do know, regardless of when I started this series, the summer has really flown by, both for me, and I know other people have sort of indicated the same thing. Here in the Denver area, schools are already back in session. I think I might have talked about that in the last episode, about how that school seem to start much earlier this day and age than it did when I was in school. I can kind of remember my school session starting around the 25th or so of August, which is probably around the time that you're actually going to be watching this episode. I am recording this episode a few days ahead of that. But anyway, school has been in session for, by the time you watch this episode, for about 2 weeks here in Denver. And that just seems really early, but you know, it's whatever. I'm sure that there's a lot more to the curriculum and everything nowadays than there was way back in the late 70s and 80s when I was in junior high school and high school. So I'm recording this episode before the eclipse, but you guys are going to be watching this episode after the eclipse. So unless something seriously goes wrong with the eclipse and everything, you guys will see this episode, guys and gals will see this episode after the eclipse has happened. And if you live in North America, I'm just kind of curious as to what your experience was. The last time that I remember there being a eclipse of this sort of magnitude was back in 1979, February of 1979. I was in the 6th grade, and still we called that elementary school back then at that day and age, at that day and time. We called that still elementary school. I know that some schools refer to 6th grade, or they can start referring to 6th grade as middle school, but anyway, it was still elementary school where I went to school. I went to school in a pretty small town in Texas, in East Texas. That was where I grew up, and but it was February something or another, 1979, and I know this to be the case because I just recently somebody on Facebook shared a video from 1979, from February of 1979, I guess from either the day of or maybe the day after. It was Walter Cronkite. If you guys are old enough to remember when Walter Cronkite was the what I suppose we call today mainstream news network anchor. I cannot remember which network, if it was ABC, CBS, or NBC, but anyway, that doesn't matter. And he was discussing the eclipse and showing some footage of the eclipse from 1979. And I remember in school, it was a school day, and like I said, I believe it was February, and we all got to go outside, and we made, I guess probably a few days maybe ahead of the eclipse, you know, we made some pinhole cameras or pinhole boxes and stuff to be able to view the eclipse. There was also, again, maybe part and parcel of growing up in a small community, in a small town, small rural area. We had a number of welders and stuff in town. As a matter of fact, if you guys, some of you older people like myself, may remember the whole Alaska pipeline thing. And quite a few of the people from my hometown where I grew up went and actually worked on the Alaska pipeline. And so that sort of produced sort of a phenomenon back in the 70s and early 80s of a lot of different, a lot of welders. A lot of welders came out of my community. It seemed like everywhere you turned around, there was a welding truck driving around. Well, anyway, a lot of these guys volunteered to come up to the school, and they brought their welding masks or welding goggles or whatever. And so, in addition to the pinhole boxes and stuff that we made, we also got to look at the eclipse through welding masks or goggles or whatever. So that was kind of cool. But of course now, in 2017, the eclipse is going to be happening on Monday, and of course you guys are going to see this video, I think, on the following Friday, unless I get my order out of order. But you know, there's this. I guess Amazon has sold potentially some fake glasses, these little cardboard style glasses that to me sort of remind me of the old 3D movie 3D glasses. We're going we're going to move our pipe out there. We need to go get our tractor because here in just a moment our combine is going to be full. So I sort of figure that we're going to be better off to go get our tractor and our tipper now and take care of that. We'll just cut through the trees here. Kind of glad I left these little trees here. It is nice around the farm. I don't think, you know, despite what I said maybe early in the early stages of planning out this video, this farm and everything, I don't think I'm going to get around to planting any trees. I know that was kind of part of our storyline for this series, but I just don't think I'm going to get around to doing that. By now you guys have heard the news or heard about the fact that I can't back up, and I never have claimed to be able to back up very well in this game or even in ATS or ETS2. I think the only reason why I'm capable of backing an airplane up in Flight Sim is because typically that's controlled by a pushback truck and not in my control. But anyway, that's a joke, that's to be funny. But you've probably heard by now that I have started up a new series, Farm Sim series, sort of answering another call to a challenge, but this challenge is going to be a little bit different than the other challenge that I was involved in for a little while. This challenge is basically seasons, operating seasons at a 24-day season, and I'm going to be playing on Stevie's wonderful Snetterton. I didn't do a good job at all getting under that pipe. Stevie Snetterton's farm map. You know, if you guys have been paying attention, because I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing here, mainly because my camera is not lined up. Let me focus on what I'm doing here. There we go. All right. Well, if you guys have been paying attention, because clearly I have not been paying attention as I've been trying to drive that tractor and get under the pipe. I have played, let's see, of Stevie's maps on Farm Sim 17. I have played his Goldcrest Valley Edit and Pine Cove Farm. Well, if you've been sort of paying, also if you've been paying attention to sort of Stevie's map building, his map creating for Farm Sim 17, then you know that, then you know that Snetterton's was not even a map that was going to be produced. Basically, from what I understand, when Stevie finally decided to more or less retire from modding, won't go into all the details on what drove that decision and all that. We've talked about it in the past. Then Stevie was going to make basically one more map. He made that map, and then we all thought that Stevie was going to, you know, ride off into the sunset and enjoy retirement from Farm Sim modding development. And then the next thing you know, I see a post on his Facebook page talking about another project, a project that was a private project. Initially, I think it started out as a private project. An individual had contacted Stevie and requested that Stevie create a map that basically was to become Snetterton's farm. Create a map for himself and his family to enjoy. And he had some criteria. He had some guidelines that he wanted Stevie to sort of incorporate into the map. And so he provided Stevie with all of that criteria, and basically Stevie went to work creating the map. Somewhat of a long story short, as I kind of glance over at my timer, as a long story short, Stevie had 2 dates that he was working towards as far as trying to get the map completed. Now, when I say completed, Stevie is probably one of the most thorough um, map mod developers that I personally know. And I say I sort of personally know Stevie. I've never met the man. I've never spoke to the man verbally. But Stevie and I have exchanged emails and private messages and such through both Facebook and through PCSG, where he is one of our modding partners for quite a while, going back to the Farm Sim 15 days even. I helped test one of Stevie's maps. I think it was Black Rock Valley in Farm Sim 15. I even live streamed on Twitch the sort of the testing and the sort of the preview of that map, that wonderful map. And so I feel like I know Stevie. So anyway, so Stevie had 2 dates to work with. The 1st of July of 2017 and Christmas of 2017. Now the special, obviously Christmas of 2017 was the sort of the worst case scenario goal, I suppose, if you want to refer to it that way. Obviously, I think the thinking behind that particular deadline or time frame goal or whatever was that Stevie could get this done for this family for Christmas. Okay, and then the other goal, the shorter duration goal, was July 1st, and I believe that was one of this gentleman's children's birthday or something like that. And so basically, Stevie, being the awesome person that he is, managed to not only get the map created, but get all of the due diligence testing and all of the stuff that Stevie is so good at, his thorough way of creating a map and testing it and everything. Because like I said, Stevie is one of the best at this. He really does care about the quality of his maps. He cares about the quality of the maps that he puts out initially, but he is there dedicated in supporting it and fixing any sort of problems or challenges that do creep up. And let's face it, I only know the level of difficulty in map modding when it comes to making some changes to an existing map. I think maybe a lot of us kind of can do that. Arguably, for myself, it's still very much like having both hands tied behind my back whenever I go to try to do that task, accomplish that task of either adding something to a map, like say for example a placeable type situation that obviously can't be added via just through the end game, where you actually have to fire up Giants Editor, load the map up, etc. So I'm sort of talking about the toolbox mod. And then of course with this map, I went in and did some creative, what I will refer to as creative changes to the map to sort of fit the storyline that I was wishing to accomplish. And I cleaned up a little bit of the older rundown equipment and everything that was sort of scattered out here and there. That was all part of our storyline as far as how we were sort of funding getting our farm back into operation, storyline and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so Stevie managed to get the map out for the July 1st time frame. And I don't know how many edits there's been to the map as far as updates and such. I do know that oftentimes with a map that Stevie releases, there are some fixes that will get put in short fashion, and then sometimes it requires a restart and sometimes it does not. But anyway, so it's been in the back of my mind to essentially play this map. I've wanted to play another Stevie map. I actually even thought about reworking Pine Cove Farm, Stevie released a final. I think this is maybe final times three. In other words, I think this was maybe the third Pine Cove Farm map that was sort of slated as being the final version. I was even sort of thinking about bringing that back to life because Cherry Hills is a bit too big even for my taste. I like to go big with big farming, big machinery, lots of machinery and everything. That's sort of something that I do like, but it's even a bit too big for me. So especially in trying to fit content down to a small sort of a small consumable package for you guys, because I know that you all kind of like the 30 to 45 minute type episodes that sort of fits into your daily schedule. And believe it or not, it also is easier for me as well, because especially if I can accomplish a task within a 30 to 45 minute time frame. So in other words, if I could actually harvest this field in 30 to 45 minutes and make an episode out of that, it's actually pretty convenient for me as well, because it means that I don't have to do a whole lot of off-camera stuff, because obviously trying to enjoy other video games as well as put other video game content onto my channel, if I'm playing Farm Sim, if I'm doing off-camera work, which I gladly do, just for the sake of keeping things a bit from becoming stale with the channel. In other words, you really can only, I think, set through and watch me harvest, so many episodes, or seed so many episodes, or plow so many episodes, or cut trees for so many episodes. That we're gonna kind of cut this field into here. But if I can do, if I can accomplish things within a 30 to 45 minute time frame, and then basically say, okay, well, this is the end of episode number 23, and then 24 will harvest the other field, which most likely I will do that off camera. Again, just to kind of keep things from becoming a bit stale. We still have 3 fields on this map to harvest. We've got the other canola field that's right adjacent to this field, and then we have our 2 soybean fields. But our soybean fields are not ready to harvest yet. So we do have rain tomorrow, and then we have partly cloudy scenario tomorrow, with rain on Wednesday, followed by partly cloudy, or partly sunny, I should say, on Thursday, which is obviously the last game day of fall. So I may have alluded to this fact in the last episode, but I'm kind of thinking that we are down to our final 3 or 4 episodes of this series, of this map, and then this map will be retired, and we will say goodbye to Mountain Valley Farm, and of course Snetterton's farm is where that's going to pick up. Now this, I have sort of talked about over the last several weeks. I have talked about a map that I had my eyes on, that I really wanted to play, that I really wanted to feature on the channel, that had not been released yet. Now that is not Snetterton's farm. That I was not referring to that map. This is a completely different map, and it's still not available yet to the general public, even though I do have a copy of it. So if I do choose to play that map, I will be playing it offline and for my own personal enjoyment, and will not be featuring that on the channel until the decision has been made. That's really where it is. There's a decision process as to whether the map will be released for Farm Sim 17 for the general public. And so this was a conversion from, I believe, just 15. Might have been might have been something that was on 13 as well. I can't remember. But anyway, that's not the issue. But the issue is that I really want to play maps, and I want to bring content to the channel that you guys can go out and enjoy if if you see it, and if you think, oh, I think I would enjoy this. I think I would enjoy this style of map. And I know that I'd like to maybe think that I influence a lot of people through my content. I hope I do. I hope that you guys see things, whether it be a mod. I keep an extensive mod spreadsheet. Go to grizzlybearsims.com, and you can look up at the top of the page over in the top right hand section of my blog site. There'll be a link for add-ons and mod directory, and if you click that, that will basically take you to a Google spreadsheet. And from that Google spreadsheet, look down at the bottom, you'll see tabs for the various simulation-based games that I play. Click on the Farm Sim 17 tab, and you'll see all the mods that I use. So if it's a mod or if it's a map or whatever, but I do know that there's been a few folks that have sort of seen a map that I've played, started playing, and they have started playing that on their virtual farm. That's cool. I'm glad that I'm able to expose people to sort of new content and new styles of doing things, whatever that might be, whether it's a map or it's a mod or whatever. So back to Snetterton's farm and sort of the specifics around that. Now, I think I did record my introduction, or my episode 0 of Snetterton's farm last night. I'm not sure when it's going to air. It's going to really depend on, I think it's really going to depend on when I get a few more things done on the map. I need to get some more equipment placed on the map, or moved around, I should say. But anyway, I recorded episode 0 last night. I'm sort of thinking that I'm going to let that episode go out and hit YouTube tomorrow. That would be the 19th of August, by the way. So it's possible you've already seen this, but if not, for whatever reason, or if you've missed that episode, I will go ahead and rediscuss it here. We'll let this episode be about 45 minutes or so in length. So just bear with me for another 10 or 15 minutes here. But so Farmer Klein, and if you guys do not know who Farmer Klein is, I highly encourage you to go over and check out Farmer Klein's YouTube channel. You'll find a link to Farmer Klein's YouTube channel down below my video. It's always down there. Farmer Klein is, we're going to leave this here, and we're going to get out and run over here really quick to our tractor. We'll see if we can bring it alongside and not wreck the combine or wreck the trailer again. But Farmer Klein does an excellent job in doing map reviews. He is perhaps one of the best that I know of, that I frequently watch for reviews on maps. And so Farmer Klein had this sort of a challenge. Not necessarily, well, I guess it was, the intention was to get other people involved, certainly. But I think it was also more or less for his own enjoyment, his own trying to figure out if he could do this, what have you. And essentially it is to play a map, start a brand new map, if you will. And is our tipper, I guess our tipper is maybe full, so I tell you what, let's go empty our tipper here. Yeah, 100%, 14,000 liters of canola. So we'll at least get probably another full trailer out of what's remaining from the field and a half that we have left. So anyway, Farmer Klein talked about this challenge, if you will, and it's going to be it's not going to be, there's no prize, there's really no, it's not anything necessarily for bragging rights. I think the challenge in and of itself is to play a map with the Seasons mod at 15x speed based on 24-day seasons. So you can do the math. That's a lot of game days. That's a lot of game days. Um, Now, as you know, because if you guys watched my other challenge before I stopped participating in that challenge, you know that for set on 15x speed, most of the time the game days are, or the time frame playing from essentially dawn to dusk, or dawn to about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the evening, is basically about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 to 20 minutes, kind of depending on the day. Obviously, because the days are longer in the summertime, then obviously the time to take to get from essentially dawn to dusk, or dawn to late evening, takes a little bit longer. But anyway, so that's sort of the whole premise behind the challenge, is just in the sense that we are sort of playing 24 day seasons at 15x speed. And so I have chosen Snetterton's Farm for that. Now, the way that you're going to see this is you're going to see this through both what I refer to as sort of recorded, edited, uploaded episodes. So kind of like this episode, for example. This is I'm not live streaming this episode. And then there's also going to be some live streams involved as well. Most of at least right now, the way that I'm thinking about this is that the live streams will kind of be like what I was doing back on Lawfolds. You might remember that I would occasionally do a live stream to do some off-camera work that needed to be done when I, for example, needed to mow or needed to bale or something like that. I would do live streams to document that, because I've got to do it anyway, and so it's convenient and it's kind of fun for me to interact with all of you through a live stream. So there's going to be some of that. Obviously, we're talking about what, 24, 40, 96 game days for the year, played at 15x speed. So many hours it's going to take to get through this. So some of it, like I said, will be live streamed. Some of it will be the sort of edited, recorded, edited, uploaded type, where I will do some editing to try to shrink that episode down. I think I'm not going to, because I know that most of you guys that enjoy watching my, what I sort of call my recorded, edited, uploaded videos, like the 30 to 45 minute time frame. So I will, even though most likely each time I sit down to play Farm Sim 17 on Snetterton's Farm, I'm most likely going to try to commit to a full day, full game day, which is going to be in that hour to hour and 15 to 20 minutes or so time frame. But I will condense those videos as best as I possibly can down to 30 to 45 minute range. This map will feature, it'll be very similar to kind of what I started doing on Lone Star. It'll be sort of big farming. It's going to be big equipment. It's going to be multiples of the same equipment. It will, sorry about that, it will be, and it will also feature the return of Billy Bob back to back to Farm Sim, back to Grizzly Bear Sim's YouTube channel. Billy Bob has taken some time off because we really didn't need, Billy Bob has not been part of the storyline for this map, and I would say this map, we've been playing this map for, I think, at least 2 months now, maybe more. Again, I really don't know when I started it, but I can easily find that out at some point in time. But anyway, Billy Bob has not been a part of this map. So Billy Bob is going to be making his return back to Farm Sim 17 and back to Snetterton's Farm. And so we'll be looking forward to catching up with Billy Bob, see what he's been up to over the last couple of months, and obviously getting his help on that map. There are no restrictions or rules regarding the number of hired workers that we can have. There's no restrictions on, basically I've purchased much of what I think we will need as far as equipment goes. We have we have an abundance of fields, simply because, well, we've got 24 days of spring. So we have a lot of time to plow, plant, fertilize, all that kind of stuff before summer. So all throughout the opportune planting season, we've got lots of days to accomplish all of that. So again, it'll go fairly quick, I think, playing at 15x speed. Now, you might wonder, okay, well, if there are times where there's really nothing else to do we have to stick at 15x speed? No, we don't. I mean, we can go at 30x speed if we want to. Basically, 15 is the minimum. So, for example, some of the guys, and basically Farmer Klein, myself, Doug Zorley, there's a few others, and I will try to make sure that I put links to everyone else's YouTube channels, especially if they're going to be putting out their content via YouTube. I will try to make sure that I link to them. But I think there's even some discussion that what folks might do is, like during winter time when there's not much to do, is just really tried to get all of that with one swath, but was not successful. So let me back up and grab this here. But what many of us may end up doing is, when wintertime comes, is we may actually crank things up to about 30x speed, and then just essentially that should give us enough time to tend to the animals, clean up after them, feed them if they need to be fed, maybe look after the greenhouses, things like that, and then just go from there. So anyway, we are going to wrap this episode up. As I said, I think I will do the rest of this canola field off camera. When we come back for the next episode, it's possible that we will go ahead and fast forward through what is considered to be Monday through the rain, because if we can't harvest, then there's probably no need in doing anything as far as video work and stuff for that day, because I'll just tend to the animals off camera to make sure that they stay healthy. And then we will come back together for episode number 20. Let's see, what will we be? 24, Mountain Valley Farm episode number 24. We'll come back together for that, and that will probably have us down, hopefully it will have us down in the soybean fields, down on the lower portion of the map on Tuesday. Now, if that doesn't work, if that crop is not ready to harvest on Tuesday the 4th, then obviously probably the next time we come back together would be Thursday the 6th, and hopefully it will be ready to harvest and the crop will be dry, and we can go ahead and get that off the field and get it actually get it sold. We will be selling the soybeans direct. That way we don't have to drive all the way back to the main farm. We'll just sell those direct. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching my channel. I really appreciate you guys being subscribers. We are almost to the 1,000 subscriber mark, and that is just so incredible. And it's not about the numbers with me, but I do sort of use the number of subscribers and the number of watched videos and the time and all that stuff as an indicator to say that people are enjoying my content, that they're finding my blabbering on, my commentary and everything to be interesting, and they enjoy seeing what I put out. Obviously, Farm Sim gets the most views. The other things don't get as many views, but I enjoy playing them, and so I will continue to kind of keep them onto the channel for now, and we'll see how that goes as time progresses. But in any event, I appreciate everybody liking and subscribing. And if you are new to my channel, and if you are not a subscriber, I am going to be basically firing up the giveaway once again. I know this is for the 3 copies of the Farm Sim 17 Giants Farm Sim 17 expansion DLC that'll be coming out in mid-November. I was doing the contest giveaways, issuing out the code words during my challenge play, but since I've suspended that, all of those entries are still in place. They're still in play, but I will be resuming giving out the contest codes and everything in the Snetterton series, and I will be doing both codes in my live streams as well as codes during the uploaded, recorded, edited content as well. So anyway, you'll want to make sure that you're a subscriber for that, because that is really the only criteria. You need to watch my videos, but you also need to be a subscriber to be eligible to win if I draw your name. So again, thank you so much. I'm sorry this episode went a little bit long, but we managed to get one field harvested of canola, and I will get this done here in the remaining minutes that it will take to do this off camera. And then we will come back together for episode number 24 again, I think it is. And then we're really probably about, again, probably 2 to 3 episodes away from having this one done, having this story told and get everything sold and packed away and everything. And again, I really appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. So please take care of yourselves and each other, and come back again very soon to the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, where I always enjoy our company. And thank you for watching this episode, and thank you for watching future episodes, and I'll see you all on the farm in the next day or so. Take care now. Goodbye.